Neb was like an important part in the first film. It was like when Neo first comes aboard.
This is the main deck.
In the first film, it was the only ship we saw, and in this film, there's many more ships. Some big ships on this, some small ships. There's the Majolna, the Vigilant, the Osiris, the Caduceus, and the Logos.
Everybody wanted to draw ships, and some of them are pretty funny.
Do you have any of the, you have your little library of ships by any chance?
Yep.
Okay, we'll show you that.
It's a small fast ship.
We're not using that one though, right? Because it's like, they thought it was a little too buggy.
I don't know.
Some of the guys just, you can't get out of that Star Wars mold, you know?
What do you mean by that?
They look like they're made by GM. They look like Datsuns with wings on them or something. But these things had to look like they're put together and built out of other ships and rebuilt and restructured. And
the whole concept that these machines might have been around for 1,000 years. And then you sort of have to look at it, well, if it's been for 1,000 years, when was it last serviced?
And each one had a different function, so they should look different.
These are all the concepts that have been turned into 3D models. The Osiris, known as the small fast ship. It's called the Hunter ship, kind of a little bit more junked up.
The Logos has probably been the most recently serviced, but you don't know when. The amount of grubbiness on it is slightly pulled back a bit.
So it's like the sports car. It gets the Ferrari. This was an alternative design for the Majolna, which was dropped in favour of a Jeff Darrow drawing.
I got to do the Majolna, which is the one I really wanted to do because it's the hammer of God, you know. It's the gunship, it's the Potemkin, it's the Bismarck. I looked at a lot of like Panzer tanks. It's sort of based on an Aztec hammer. If you look at it, it's almost an axe. And I put these scales on it, these big metal plates that they'd put on the sides of Panzers and stuff.
There's a landing pad for nearly every ship that Rob has modeled that's sort of shaped around the basic, silhouette that the ship is.
The actual docks themselves, I tried to make them look sort of like aircraft carriers.
Nebuchadnezzar, you are cleared through gate 3 to bay 7.
Roger that, Control.
Basically, when the ship gets close to surfaces, it repels an opposite magnetic charge, and we're going to augment that with a nice little blanket, a cushion of electrostatic energy.
Colin? Yes? Can you switch that on, please, mate?
The Neb is a 4-man crew, which is why I think Link must be a super, super smart guy. Because in the first one, they had 7 other people there. They had all these other people to do all these jobs while some people were jacked in. Well, now, 3 of my crew, they're jacked in, and then it's me. So I'm monitoring the Matrix. I must be maintaining the ship, and like, he must be all over the place.
What do we call these things?
LEDs.
You know, if I was to be honest and frank, the ship main decks are my least favourite. They're difficult to shoot in. There's a lot of, people around monitors, a lot of people lying in chairs. Not to give the movie magic away, but it's the same ship, that Owen very ingeniously turns around to make it look something completely different each time. He's done a pretty amazing job too.
The Nebuchadnezzar, the Majolna, and the Vigilant were all the same floor base and with the same chair mechanisms, but with different cores.
This is being changed into another ship, right?
Yeah, this is turning into the Vigilant.
So we turn all the chairs around backwards, a bit of redressing.
As far as I know, the upholstery goes red.
Used to be the Neb, now it's the Vigilant. When was it built? 2106.
The plaque off the Nebuchadnezzar had on it Mark III No. 2.
This is the core, where we broadcast our pirate signal and hack into the Matrix.
And my intention when I picked those numbers was to say this is like a Jaguar, which is like a Mark IV Jaguar. But people took this as a reference to the Psalms, Mark III No. 2. And if you actually read those passages now, they actually have a kind of a relevance to Nebuchadnezzar. Well, Nebuchadnezzar was our ship, and Nebuchadnezzar was a powerful king, and he used to, smite down cities. Well, the Nebuchadnezzar was a battleship. So there was a kind of a strange subtext within the subtext, in a sense.